Social Security can be confusing, and when you start talking about the spousal benefit of Social Security, it can get even more confusing. And that's what we're diving into on the Real Money Pros today. So today we're going to talk about the Social Security spousal benefit. Alex, there are so many misconceptions around this. We see it day in and day out in our offices as we're working with clients and potential clients. So first of all, let's define what is the Social Security spousal benefit. Basically, if you have a high wage earner and a low wage earner, what Social Security says is that the low wage earner should be able to get up to 50% of what they're gonna be paying the higher wage earner. But there's gonna be two components to make that number up, and it's not always going to be a flat 50% total at the end of the day. So let's dive into this spousal benefit topic. All right, Alex, do you want to help us understand who qualifies, and let's start getting into some of these details?
You are eligible to start benefits from Social Security at the age of 62. Full retirement age at this point for anybody who's looking to apply in the future is 67, and you can defer it until age 70. Spousal benefits are available to people who are married, as long as they've been married at least a year, and you are actually eligible for spousal benefits if you are divorced and were married at least 10 years. Not 9 years and 11 months, but if you were married for 10 years and are single when you file, you may be eligible for spousal benefits. The thing to remember is it does not change the other person's benefit at all. You are not getting half of theirs, you are getting an amount equivalent to half of theirs. So, ex-spouses, don't be mad that somebody's gonna file on your record. Doesn't change yours at all.
And the ex won't even know.
Right.
If you're divorced, but you were married 10 years and now you're gonna file for Social Security and you're gonna file for the spousal benefit, your ex is not even made aware that you're doing this. So don't let that be an issue.
The other thing is if you have been divorced more than 2 years, you are filing as your own person, so it doesn't matter if they've started to take it yet. Whereas if you are married, you can't actually claim the spousal benefit until that spouse starts to take their distribution from Social Security. That's a little kicker that sometimes gets couples, especially with large age gaps, really confused.
So now let's use some easy to grasp numbers, okay? Let's say that you and your spouse, you're both at full retirement age, so you're both at 67. Your spouse decides to take their Social Security, and that is $3,000 per month. If the other spouse is waiting to file to 67, the full amount that they could get, including the spousal benefit, would be $1,500 a month. And that's because you're both waiting until full retirement age. Now it's gonna get interesting though when spouses are not at that full retirement age and they begin to file for Social Security.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing that needs to be really clear to be able to understand this as we go into it is each person has an earnings record. If you've worked at all, you have an earnings record, and when you go on to ssa.gov and look at your estimated benefit, it is based on your earnings record. So if perhaps you didn't work very much or you only worked when you were younger and you have a very small earnings record, you may see that perhaps your benefit is a very small amount compared to your spouse's. That's where this comes in. Okay? But that means also there's two numbers that add up, as you were saying earlier. Your earning record and whatever is the extra needed to get to that $1,500. That's the spousal amount that we're talking about. So it's not $1,500, it's your record plus what's needed to get there.
Again, let's go back to this example. I'm gonna pretend it's you and me. You are the higher wage earner, which you should be because you're a lot smarter than me, Alex. Okay, her earnings have equated to, at full retirement age, when she's 67, she's gonna get $3,000 a month. I was a stay-at-home dad. I don't have a lot of earnings records, but what I did pay into Social Security, my earnings records would say that when I turned 67, my record, I'm entitled to $1,000 a month at age 67. Well, if Alex has turned on hers at $3,000 a month at 67, and I turn on mine $1,000 at 67, Social Security says, oh, but you're entitled to a $500 spousal benefit to bring my total intake up to $1,500, which is equal to 50% of the amount that Alex is receiving.
Exactly.
Now
it gets interesting.
Yeah, so we're gonna show a chart which gives you the different percentages of what's possible to be received based on the age at when you file. Remember, we're all entitled, as the law states right now, we're entitled to file Social Security as early as age 62, but you're not going to get your full amount at 62. You've got to wait until 67 to get your full amount. There's a declining scale of what the spousal benefit is also equivalent to based upon when your spouse files or what age your spouse files.
Right. So that everything is based off of that full retirement age number. So that 1,500, those are our numbers we're doing the math against. So if you start to take your benefit early, let's say you start at 62 instead of at 67, but the higher earning spouse hasn't filed yet, that's all you're going to get is your record, and you're going to get a reduced amount. You're only going to get 70% of it because you started earlier.
So again, in these numbers, if I'm entitled to $1,000 at 67, but I start at 62, I'm only gonna get 70%, which means I'm gonna get $700 per month.
Right. And then when your spouse files, it will start your spousal amount, which may or may not be $500. Depends on your age when they file. So what age are you when the spousal benefit starts? Because it also has a reduction scale. So we run into people quite often where the lower earning spouse starts at 62, they figure they might as well get the money, and they think that when the higher earning spouse files, automatically it's the other one is going to jump up to half of the amount. That is not accurate. It is permanently reduced based on when you file. So in that example, if you are getting 700 instead of 1,000, and then let's say that your spouse files when you're 64, your portion of the 500 is now only $375. So now you're getting $1,075, not $1,500.
This is why it's so important when you're considering filing for Social Security and you're thinking about spousal benefits, whether you're married at the time or you were married for 10 years, you're divorced and you have not remarried. It's so important to speak with an expert like us. You want to find someone who's trusted, who really knows the ins and outs of Social Security, because when you file, you really have one shot to file for Social Security, and you need to make sure you do it correctly the first time. Reach out to an expert resource. It's what the Real Money Pros are here. We're here for you to help you with decisions just like this. If you've got questions on your Social Security and you want to reach out to us, go to our website, therealmoneypros.com, click on the Ask the Experts feature. It'll open up a window where you can fill out email information, send our team your questions, and we promise we will get you answers. Alex, is there anything else you wanted to cover on the topic of spousal benefits within Social Security today?
If your spouse passed away, the rules are different.
There you have it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching today. We'll catch you again next time.